What is going on, Slap fans? Happy Wednesday. It is August 27th, 2025. Here we are live from Miami, Florida, Little Havana, as we like to call it. And you guys might notice something a little weird about our backdrop here. Our environment is a little bit different. And I'm being told we have no mic, which is not the intended outcome here. Can you guys let me know? I'm good. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Tracy. As I was saying, we're on a bit of a weird backdrop here. It was you. Okay, yeah. See, it's Canadians. Everything's about Canadians. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, champ. We're sitting in front of the Dirty Boxing Championship banner. Very weird for us. We are not here to talk to you about dirty boxing, but for those of you who are curious, we're at Dirty Boxing. We'll be covering this event. We have a different account and property for that. So if you're interested in any of that, you want to head over to Boxing Bureau on Instagram, one word. Tons of stuff over there. Who knows? There's a lot of crossover, man. We saw the Wolf, Rob Perez, who was to be the main event of this card. Those of you might remember him on the early days of Power Slap and the trials. Took on Ryan Phillips and beat him by unanimous decision in Power Slap. Unfortunately, some medical issues led to him not being cleared to compete. So that kind of ended his career, so to speak, in Power Slap. But he was here at Dirty Boxing, supposed to compete for the heavyweight championship. An injury sidelined him, but he's here. Good energy. And like Corey alluded to on Instagram, there's a lot of crossover, a lot of athletes who are here. We won't say any names. Obviously, we posted about Hector Lombardo was obviously the biggest. But there's been guys behind the scenes that we won't mention here yet that have talked about interest in competing in Power Slap, and some of them, really seem like they could actually do some damage. What were your thoughts on some of the guys we talked to this week about that?
Well, first off, thanks for the intro, asshole. That never took place. Not everybody here was overall watching us on Instagram, but we are live in the flesh, as you said, from Miami. I mean, it's been great to see, obviously we travel the globe. We get opportunities to speak to people about Power Slap. And I tell you, being here at Dirty Boxing, obviously a different type of combat, but it's incredibly awesome to see, right from, trainers, athletes, guys that hold mitts, all the way up to commentators who are involved in the MMA world. I won't say, name drop or anything like that.
Jason Anik.
Yeah, Jason Anik. Had a very good conversation with Power Slap with him today. And you know what? It just was spreading the good word. Kind of clarifying some of the misconceptions around Power Slap and really pushing, I think, which is second to none, is the live experience that takes place at Power Slap. And, just giving people, the truth behind the sport and encouraging them to come out and, see it live in person before they judge it or kind of, take on any of the hearsay that they see online. And so I think it's really important, to be great ambassadors for the sport, no matter what we're doing, whether we're here covering Dirty Boxing, whether we're, we definitely need to take care of our first baby, the love, the Power Slap that comes along with it. And, there's a lot happening. There's a lot brewing. We've seen, some guys in Las Vegas this week. Obviously, they're getting ready for the fight promotion for October. We've got 2 events announced right now. Obviously, the first Power Slap taking place on October 3rd in Las Vegas. And then the second event coming to you from Abu Dhabi at the end of October. And, it just keeps on going on. We see a lot of these guys. Who do we all see? We see,
you want to put it on me?
We've seen Luke Simons.
We've
seen Austin Turpin.
Wolverine.
Anthony Blackburn.
Anthony Blackburn. Blackburn.
You've seen Anthony Blackburn.
Why did we see Anthony Blackburn? He doesn't have a fight announced.
Yeah, he was in Las Vegas. I don't know. You call it yourself what Anthony Blackburn is doing.
That's interesting.
So Anthony Blackburn was there. We also seen Alan Klingbeil, the Kryptonian, was also there.
We said this earlier on this test stream we did, and I'll say it again.
Are you going to do it? You can't delete it this time.
No, I don't think it doesn't matter. Austin Turpin is in Las Vegas with Wolverine, Alan Klingbeil, and Luke Simons. What is life, man? I mean, it must be so weird. I think what was it you asked me? What do you think the
conversation?
What is the conversation like with those guys? And I did my best Austin Turpin impression, which I'll replicate for you fine people that we love so much here. I think it goes something like this: Rhonda, you're a fucking bitch. Shit pile, I already whooped your ass. You're a fucking pussy. Luke Simons, I'm gonna fucking whoop your ass. You couldn't even beat shit pile. You're a fucking bitch. Something like that is what I would guess the conversation would go like. I don't actually know how Wolverine would react to that in person. I think the other two would just laugh it off.
Yeah.
I think Wolverine might actually get pissed. Like, yeah, I think that might actually get him upset.
Hey, very well so. But, you talk about that. But let's talk about Luke Simon, Austin Turpin. How does fight math apply to this? As you talked about, Alan Klingbeil, Luke Simons, Austin Turpin. How does all of this kind of fit into that mold?
It's tough, man. I mean, fight math is not exactly universally applicable. We've seen Luke Simons best Alan Klingbeil by decision. We've seen Alan Klingbeil knock Luke Simons out or TKO. We've seen Austin Turpin beat Wolverine. We've seen Wolverine beat Austin Turpin. We've seen Alan Klingbeil lose to Austin Turpin. We've seen an interesting, merry-go-round between the four guys that are the aforementioned gentlemen. It's tough to say. I think it's really, really hard to apply it to those. It's just so much has happened. There's even the evolution. Like I said, I mean, Austin avenged his loss against Vern. They were quote unquote over the 205-pound limit both times. Vern was actually smaller during the first Turpin fight than he was in the second Turpin fight. So, the advantage, was it more? Was it? I don't know. I mean, Turpin had weight on him, but it wasn't as significant as the weight he had on him at Power Slap 8 in June of 2024. So, what was the difference that night? I can't tell you the answer to that question. And even Alan Klingbeil, Luke Simons. Seemed like Luke had Alan's number. The first time they fought, it was a pretty clear decision. Fast forward, and Alan Klingbeil gets him out of there. It looks like he dominated him. Like Luke couldn't take his shot. So math in this sport is extremely hard to come up with, and I'm not good at math naturally. So
for sure. And then, Austin Turpin is truly the wild card in all this. You talk to some people, and they say, if the matches were to take place for Austin Turpin at light heavyweight, he wouldn't have the same power that he has when he took on Wolverine, when he took on Vern Cathy, etc. Those are kind of what the pundits are saying. However, I still believe that Austin Turpin has one of the most smoothest strikes in Power Slap right now. And how much of that power would he have missed? They say you need 5 pounds of pressure to knock somebody out. If you are dead accurate, that power loss that you would have by making that cut of, 15, 20 pounds for Austin Turpin, in a lot of ways, I think would still be there. Obviously, Vernon Cathy in the last matchup, had to take those, the additional blow, which I think sealed the fate for him ultimately. And I think regardless, the combination of taking back-to-back blows obviously led to, the demise of him in that, in that first round. I believe it was first round of that particular match. And so, you can't turn a blind eye that, yes, they were at heavyweight. They weren't at that light heavyweight match. And so that's really the asterisk. And, I have a feeling that in a lot of ways, time away for Austin Turpin has actually been a good thing. I think if you can get back down to this light heavyweight matchup, if you can take care of Luke Simons, I think it puts him in line for, the successor of Wolverine versus Alan Klingbeil whenever we see that. And I think they just need one match of him at 205. I think he's done a lot for himself outside of the sport. And Austin doesn't want to talk about outside the sport, so I'm not going to go into it. But, in a lot of ways, he's here to fight. He's ready to rumble. I think he's matured. I think he's learned. And you know what? If he misses weight again, then, hold me to it but I'm still holding faith that he's able to do it. But I think if he gets back, if he can become victorious here, I think catapults him up. I think Luke Simon gets another great opportunity. I mean, after the loss to Alan Klingbeil, they could have shelved him for a bit. Luke Simon's been a very busy, very active guy on the Power Slap roster. We've seen when guys like that, even quote unquote, like a Dorian Perez, loses a match and they shelve him for 6 months. And so, in these particular situations, these kind of things do happen, unfortunately. And so, but the promotion is bringing him back in quick succession, talks about how, I think how the promotion sees Luke. And I think either way, I think this is a big matchup for the division kind of going forward. And right now, the odd man out seems to be Russell Rivera. Nobody's talking about Russell right now, making a comeback on any of these two particular cards. Obviously, there's rumor and speculation. There's going to be more cards before the end of the year, and I'm sure we'll probably see Russell at some point. But we're seeing the division move forward without him at this particular time. And so, it could have made sense in a lot of ways to give him a rematch versus Wolverine, but they decided to go a different way. And so, what does that say from the brass of Power Slap opting to go to Alan Klingbeil? Is that just Alan paying his time, or is that just I'll say quote unquote them punishing Russell and saying like, hey, like championship match, this is the first time this has happened. You think back to when he fought, AJ Static Hintz in that title match and how that ended. Obviously it was on the I guess offensive fouls or strikes that ended it. But still, they're saying that we don't want this at the top of the elite of the division. And so it's going to be interesting to see where Russell Vera kind of fits in as the rest of the division is kind of moving forward without him at this particular time.
Yeah, I mean, Vern Cathy's in that category also. I think rightfully so. Two pretty scary knockouts in the better part of 6 months. He needs the time off. But, I mean, if you take the gentleman that you just mentioned, only two people missing are Vern Cathy and Russell Vera. So I don't know that that's the plan. I don't know that I would recommend that be the plan. But I mean, you can't help but wonder what's next for Vern. I've said it publicly before, and I mean no disrespect. I'd like to see Vern hang it up and kind of become a consultant, if you will, to some of the newer athletes and help them refine their skill set and get better, and maybe in a coaching kind of role. I just don't want to see the guy take any more hits. And, the last two were pretty scary, man, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean, he's still top of the division. There's still guys there that I'm sure, would love to have a turn versus Vern Cathy. And I'm sure there's guys that Vern Cathy would love to be able to fight as well. And so who knows? I mean, we see guys fight up the ranks. We see guys fight down. We see a lot of different things happen. Hard to say if Vern's going to be done. Obviously, he is getting up there in age. I don't know his exact age, 37, 38 years old. So
I think he's 39 or 40.
Older? Okay. So he's kind of pushing the top of that, that weight limit that we've seen. I mean, I'll just be straight up. I mean, straight from, the mouth of Sin Bodhi, that, they're looking to recruit athletes 21 to 40 and close to that 40 mark. Obviously, they're willing to make exceptions, as he said, but he's getting, to that natural lifespan. We've heard this for a number of times, all the way back to Ryan Phillips, et cetera, saying that kind of 40s, that, ceiling that they seem to like for age. Devin Schwann was kind of in that same, predicament also. And so just kind of seeing what. But enough of the light heavyweight division for this particular moment. Let's talk about the main event. We really kind of just tiptoed around this a bit. We haven't really got into it in any smack talk, but Isaiah Quinones, Brandon Bordeaux, number 3. I mean, it almost seems like, it's a dog chasing his tail in a lot of ways because, obviously these guys are 1-1 now. They face each other. Obviously, the difference in the last match is Isaiah missed his first shot. He had that upper hand going in, have that first shot, simply missed, opened the door for Brandon Bordeaux to be able to come in, ultimately, sealing his fate and becoming champion. And then obviously we were expecting to see them in New Orleans. That didn't happen. Brandon Bordeaux had a freak accident outside of the sport that has, prevented him from competing that night. They rebooked this now for Las Vegas. In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like this is a Las Vegas type of match. I mean, I know Quinones come from California, you got Bordeaux coming from Michigan, and having these two guys kind of square up in Vegas where they have the first 2 times, I think it's kind of ceremonious, and I think this one is for all the marbles. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think now that you mention it and I think about it, Isaiah messed up on both of his first strikes because in the first fight, Brandon took his first strike and yelled, and it looked as though it didn't connect the way it was intended to. And then Brandon fires back. Isaiah gets knocked down but recovers. And then on the second strike, Isaiah was able to do the same to Brandon. Controversy, it gets called off. Isaiah Quinones retains. Fast forward to March, power slap 12. Same problem. Isaiah misses the mark. Brandon Bordeaux capitalizes. Isaiah does not properly recover. Brandon Bordeaux is the new middleweight champion of the world. So I think if you were betting over-unders on rounds, I think you absolutely take the under.
What do they set that at? 2.5?
Yeah. I do 2.5.
Okay.
I do 2.5. Yeah, I mean, you would like to think both gentlemen have learned, but you just never know. You never know. I think in either direction, a knee, 3 seconds on the knee, for the guys that were the people who are on the losing side during their matches. I think that fight actually gets extended. So I think you take that sort of perspective, what they can do in the future as they apply that, and you might have a longer fight.
For sure. Chat. What's going on in the chat? We haven't really get in there. You guys live.
I'm watching.
Throw up the W's in there if you want as well. What's going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? I think we're going to change it because I think we've got one girl that watches us. I think the rest of it are all male, hanging out together. Kumbaya. Anything exciting going on in that chat?
Doughboy is dead. Bordeaux gonna smoke Isaiah. That's right, brother.
Doughboy.
Isaiah. It's code word for Isaiah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I wonder why, man. I mean, Isaiah comes in, he's certainly not the softest guy in the division. Is that like because he used to balloon up before fights, or what is that kind of a?
Brandon, do you care to elaborate?
I don't know.
Let us know in the chat, Brandon.
Yeah.
What's the story behind the Doughboy nickname? Yeah, I think everybody agrees this whole thing has to be put to bed, and the only way to do that is to have a third fight. So, it's the right move, and I think the next right move is to give Darren Godfrey an opportunity at whoever the winner is.
Yeah.
Whether that's later this year, next year, and we'll see. Is this guy really made of what we think he's made of, or is he just kind of gotten through guys that are either over the hill or he's got their number?
For sure. All right, it's perfect segue. You said job with Darren Godfrey. What do you do with a guy like John Davis? We just seen John Davis fight in MMA this past week. What do you do with a guy like him? I mean, he's kind of gone radio silence. Last time we seen he was going to go up against Austin Turpin at light heavyweight. Not sure really what that was meant. Is that just like a sail off into the abyss here, like, kind of feed him to the wolves, or is that like kind of doesn't make a lot of sense? But what do you do with him in that middleweight division right now? You talk with Darren Godfrey. Do you want to keep him active? Do you give him someone like John Davis, or is John Davis and the Chief a potential next matchup, or where do you think this goes? Or do you know something I don't know? You got a smirk on your face.
I'm reading chat. That's why I have a smirk on my face. I'm going to try to make something interesting happen here in a second, but I'll answer this and then I'll let you talk so that I can do my devious magic here. But I think that's up to John. I think what I've seen from John on social media has been kind of all over the place. He's shown his frustration. He's shown his interest. He's shown his desire to get back there. And I think that for an organization that's very heavy in talent at the moment, in a division that's very talent heavy, probably not what they want to see. They want people who want to be there, who are showing them that they're willing to stick it out and be prepared for the journey as it persists. And I think the flippy floppy stuff isn't exactly attractive, and that's no knock to John. I think he needed time off after the loss to Isaiah last year, but I think the eagerness to get back up there needed to be articulated a little bit more clearly. Going to MMA shows that he wants to have some sort of activity. I think that's a step in the right direction, but I think his messaging online has not exactly screamed, hey, I'm ready to get back in there. It's to me, it's been some expressions of frustration, feeling like he's being written off. And listen, while all those things might be the way that you feel, you also have to understand that, and I've said this before, and I think you've echoed this is an opportunity, not one that you're entitled to, not one that you're guaranteed to ever get again. That goes for anybody, top talent or not, it doesn't matter. Champion, former champion, whatever it is. If the promotion deems that you're not good for business, you will not fight again. And so the best thing for you to do is be, reasonable, be respectful, let people know in a professional way, hey, I'm interested in competing, and they're going to do what they do at the end of the day. If it makes sense, then they'll make it happen. If it doesn't make sense to them, they won't. And, I get that it's frustrating. A lot of people sort of rely on this income, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's an opportunity. It's not, nobody's entitled to it, and it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the next 2 months here, I think things are going to be really clear. We talked about before, minimum 3 cards for the rest of this year, potentially, of having 60 athletes or so getting up there, being a conservative number. And I think if John Davis doesn't get a call on one of these particular things, I think it's a very telltale sign of where he kind of sits into the roster. And obviously, they're still keeping him at the top, of the division. So they are still giving him that respect. They're not dropping him down. I still have a hunch that I think we will see him in one way, shape, or form. I still think we'll see him, get somebody, will it be in his favor? Who knows? Is it a last minute call? Who knows? I think he's in the less position to be able to pick his spots. And I think they'll give him somebody here that he'll have to, really prove it. And I mean, we start seeing more guys come into the division, and we see guys like Stunt Marshall as well coming into the division. I mean, John Davis, Stunt Marshall, actually, I'm saying out loud.
Easy, Tiger.
And it's a big gap.
That's a lot of experience versus not a whole lot of experience.
But let's find out if Stunt Marshall is legit or not. I know he's got one slap to his resume for a guy who may or may not have braced at all, but I think it's actually a perfect test. There's a lot of experience there. But in the same breath, I think if you want to ride this hype train, and if you want to be able to see that, if John can still hang with the Young Bucks, bring it on. I'm all for it. I've seen crazier things. Come on.
Yeah, you know the Crazy Hawaiians. Of course, you've seen crazier things.
Absolutely, we have.
Yeah, I think. I guess I'd like to see John Davis back. I like him. I think he was extremely important to the sport, especially in his division. He was there, and when middleweight wasn't so exciting, and he weathered the storm. He faced great competition. I still give him tons of respect, and appreciate that he switched hands. I mean, he set a precedent there, right? He switched hands, competed with his non-dominant hand. Clearly, looked like he was not prepared to do that, and then he ended up doing it anyway, and he won. I mean, whether or not you liked the way that it looked or you thought that it was the right move, whatever the case was, he retained his championship and he proved, why he was the best at that time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think he also showed people like you should train both hands and both arms because those things can happen.
Yeah.
And he was able to be a champion that night and retain his championship for that exact reason. And he would never face Wesley Dren again after that. And I think what happened that night was a huge part of why.
100%. Let's change things up a little bit. Let's go to the women's side of the power slap stratosphere. I mean, Holly Hood, everything she seems to do seems to attract interest. I mean, she's got a big following. People love what she does. I challenge you, go pull up Holly Hood's Instagram and look at the comments in the comments section. And you see loyal followers that regardless of what she does, truly loves her inside and out for what it is that she's, been doing with her career. And, was it she calling somebody out or was somebody calling her out this past week?
What we posted was somebody calling her out, but there's a mutual call out, and there's been some social media exchanges between her and one Destiny McCubbin. Just to comment on what you said earlier, I mean, she's got some real loyal fans, and I won't repeat any of the stuff because we'll get demonetized, but let's just say if you go into the comments of the video that we made of her talking about her and her mom wrestling, which I think is an incredible story and something that you very rarely will hear.
She doesn't have OnlyFans, does she?
No, she does not.
So there you go.
Not to my knowledge, but in the comments are some pretty unusual things. Let's just say that. And if you're interested in what they are, feel free to take a look. Make sure you like the post while you do it and think about giving it a share. But if you haven't seen her and her mom wrestle or haven't heard about their story, look at Wrestlers on Netflix. It's a great docuseries about Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is where John Cena came from, Brock Lesnar, a lot of the big names that made it through and to the WWE. So Holly's born from there, so to speak, and her mom was also part of that. Al Snow is a guy that's out there for those of you wrestling fanatics. So definitely worth a look. But like I said, there's very few people on this earth who ever get to say they competed professionally in anything against their parents.
Totally.
So very, very cool. We had the pleasure of meeting Maria James, and man, she supports her daughter.
For sure. I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, I'm going to talk very broadly. I don't want to bring anybody up, but there seems to be
Name drop them. Come on.
No, I'm not. I can't do this one, but I'm going to call it the PETA effect because I feel like the match between PETA and Chelsea Dodson has sent ripples through the entire women's division in a lot of ways. It sparked animosity in a negative sense, and there's been people that have been supportive. There's been both sides to it, and I also feel like
overwhelmingly negative. Listen,
for sure, yeah. But I think we're seeing a fallout now with other competitors in that 125 division, the 115 division now, and is it going to create hesitation of other athletes that either want to face her or rethink if they want to compete in power slap? Because I mean, from what I'm seeing, both publicly and privately in the back channels, that it is starting to psychologically get into the minds of other athletes that this is a realistic possibility and one that they may not have thought about before signing up for the sport.
Yeah, it's a tough conversation. I think people are really looking at the prospect of losing their nose and having their nose shattered in a really painful and complex way, right? Chelsea talked about her nose being broken in multiple places. We saw that carry out. I mean, that's a scary idea, man. Mm-hmm. It's like imagining getting, hit in the face with a baseball bat and something like that happening. For you to think you're going up there and get slapped, do you think the worst case scenario is you get knocked out? Or
pause. It's kind of funny that Brandon Bordeaux might have got hit in the head with the baseball bat. Just kind of.
I don't know if he'll find that funny, but I guess we'll see. Brandon Bordeaux also got his nose broken from a slap.
Yeah.
If you remember, and to quote the
match
great
made in heaven. I don't know if he's married or not. But.
to quote the great Michael Bisping, the blood was just spurted out. It was like a water pistol. So yeah, that was a pretty gnarly scene also. But I think you're absolutely right. I think people are really reconsidering the dangers here and the risks. And some people are like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not interested. And I can't hate them. I will say, though, on that subject, the animosity, we talked about this privately within our internal team, I don't know, a couple of days ago. I think, and this is a bold statement, so pay attention when I say it. I think the days of the lovey-dovey, brotherly love, sisterly love power slap are gone. I think they're behind us. I truly do. I think this new wave of wrestlers has unlocked. My original prediction was that it would be the wrestlers versus everybody else. I've actually seen a lot of people embrace the wrestlers because of the great performance they had beginning at Power Slap 13 and up until this point largely only at Power Slap 13, with the exception of Ro Montana at Power Slap 14, but he was obviously unsuccessful. But I think just in general, the way people interact and engage, there's a lot more issues between strikers, same division, different divisions. I don't think people are embracing each other the same way they used to.
Yeah. Well, I think it started in pre-wrestlers. I think it became the crazy Hawaiian Westman opponent Paul is really what spurred this whole thing to change. Because when you bring that in, you also bring in the Hawaiians behind it. And I think obviously with there being a big Hawaiian, influx on the Power Slap roster, we started seeing the divide. And I think there really, things kind of spurred itself. And, I think, deservedly so. We take a lot of credit for what's happened in the middleweight division and spurring interest with the great middleweight debate and really getting the conversation started. And I feel like we've kind of done a lot of the same thing with the heavyweight division, getting people talking about it, continue to have conversation. I mean, it's one of the most exciting divisions right now in terms of depth in all of Power Slap. And, getting, guys 2 versus 4 or 3 versus 6 or whatever, even guys like real interest, real engagement for these types of fights. And, I think that whole mix with the crazy coming down, whatever you want to call it, I'm out, toss is given away, playing victim, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of sides. People took it a lot. I think it's one of the most riveting things you can have, especially at heavyweight when you have guys that have power. We're starting to see, things starting to fan out a little bit from the last Road to the Title season 3 that we had. And we're starting to see some of these new entrants. And I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, Zakir, whether you love him or hate him, another person who's polarizing. Zakir is actually probably the PETA of the male division.
He doesn't speak English.
It doesn't matter. He's the PETA of the male division, dude. Like,
I know. I think Fabricio's the PETA of like that.
The PETA.
Fabricio's yeah. I don't know what. I can't say that Fabricio's ever done anything to us or rubbed us the wrong way, but Fabricio fucking pisses people off, man. I'm sure if everybody at every division could fight Fabricio, they would. Like I've never met a person since I love Fabricio. I'm just being honest. And listen, I'll say it straight up here. I got no problem with Fabricio. I like his hair. I think it's much better than anything.
Like his hair?
I think it's much
fucking you are.
I think it's much better than anything I can put together on top of this big ugly mug here. But yeah, people do not fucking like the guy, and he hasn't really competed. Like it's a work of art what he does, man, to piss people off, and he gets their attention. I mean, he's got the champion Robert Trujillo responding to his comments, and they're DMing back and forth and shit. I mean, there's not a lot of people who get that kind of attention.
100%. Remember we talked about last week. We actually a little bit about Slap Fighting Championship, and lo and behold, less than a week later, we had an announcement that they have another event coming up.
Yep,
they're going to be as part of the Beano's Classic in Dubai. I believe the date's been announced, correct?
Yeah, October 18th and 19th.
October 18th. Very interesting. So, I mean, we're getting 6 days before Power Slap in Abu Dhabi. So we're going to have 2 slap fighting events. I mean, in a lot of ways, they could have, I guess, done it on the Saturday and really pinned it against each other. But being a week apart, they kind of flexing their muscle and saying, we're going to go up against you head to head, let the consumer decide? Or do you think this is just something where it just makes sense and, more eyes on one part of the world at the time, 2 events, it's better for both organizations?
I think it's better for the sport. I mean, Beano's Classic is when it is. I'm sure that's been on the calendar for a long time.
100%.
I imagine Beano's was like, hey, this would be cool to participate and be a part of our event. So I don't know that this was Slap Fighting Championship driven. I am glad to see that they're going to be a little bit more consistent with events. So, or we can presume based on the fact that they just did an event a few months ago. If I'm not mistaken, they did their last event in July, and now they're going to do another event in October. Who knows? At that cadence, we'd be looking at like maybe another one in January. And I think in that region, because Power Slap doesn't go there so often, if you want international talent, that's where you cultivate that talent, get them refined, and then you can ship them off to Power Slap when they, for the talent that really stands out. Obviously, we talked about this earlier, and I won't expand on with who or any of that, but the rule set is very different. It's significantly different, and from what it sounds like, to some athletes, it's more appealing in Slap Fighting Championship compared to Power Slap, because they have this perception that, being able to brace forward versus backwards is better, or being able to lift their foot allows them more power. And they sort of discount the idea that means there's more power coming from the other side too.
Yeah.
So I think it's an interesting perspective. It's probably one that's based around maybe a little lack of understanding because they've never competed, but it's interesting to see nonetheless.
But also the table. I think the table is drastically different, much more considered to a table like this. So it actually hinders your ability to get low, aka a Jewel Scott type of swing, and come over, because you'd hit the table during that. So the table also plays a difference into the actual.
Yeah, because Jewel Scott does like a full body squat.
Mike Tyson overhand, right?
Yeah. And you know what? We saw Marco Martinez do something similar.
Yeah. Man, I'm actually glad you bring that name up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
You like Marco, huh?
Marco Martinez is actually, is his pipe been made public yet?
It has, yeah.
It has. A cat that, I don't want to say I've written him off, but I didn't have high expectations for him coming in. The way that he interviewed, not great. Sombrero, sitting back in a lounge chair in the middle of Texas, very, very laid back, soft-spoken guy, very genuine, great person. Very good-souled person. But someone up there incredibly impressed me, just the size of him. And obviously he took on Mecha Wolf, and everybody knows if you watch the fight now that has been made public. But I remember being there and seeing that fight, that slap, the energy, the excitement. I think you have the making potentially of a homegrown star. KO Chris rise to the top. I'm not saying that Marco Martinez is going to get to that extent, but it feels very similar to a KO Chris, where you get a guy who isn't from your traditional, MMA background, but one of those tough guys that have grinded it out. I don't know, Marco, you're on a Street Fighter 2. I'm sure you have. Not saying anything other than that, but just a really tough guy. And I think he has the potential to really kind of push things forward. So
the Texas chin checker, as he likes to say. Funny that you bring him up with KO Chris, because those guys they've exchanged words online. KO Chris said he want to go to 85. Marco said, I will take that bet 10 days out of 10, and I'll welcome you to 85. And then he said, no disrespect to your sister, she my friend. He said it's in some way like that. So I'd like to see
that. What does that mean?
She was my friend.
His sister's a friend.
Yeah, Jackie was his friend. They were, because they competed they debuted on the same card.
Okay.
So he's saying no
friends. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't listen. I don't want to go down there. I'm not going to go down that road. But what I will say is, so let's talk about some breaking news here. There's been rumors about a training camp. What do we actually know about a training camp, Corey?
Yes, we do know a training camp is taking place. I think it's been fairly, made public by some of the strikers that are attending. It is going to be taking place in the next week. It's going to be taking place in Las Vegas. From what we know, it's going to be a very similar style. And before you strikers that are watching this go and blow up Erica, as far as we know, the training camp is completely full at this particular point, but they are going to bring in new talent to get another look for a fresh crop of fighters. Seemingly, I would think, potentially for October. When we see them do these training camps, we know that it leads to the cream of the crop in these camps, getting an opportunity. And it could be, to kind of fill that, that taped segment in October in Las Vegas, if this is going to be one of the last times we see Power Slap for this year, kind of setting it up for the new year, new crop of talent. And so very interesting to see who they bring in. We've heard some, rumors and speculation that haven't been confirmed. So I don't want to speak on any one in particular, but people have reached out to us. There seems to be some of the same, indie wrestlers, but there also seems to be some guys from other backgrounds.
And girls.
Whether it be bare knuckle.
And girls.
And/or MMA and girls as well, getting into the camps. And so we're going to see. It seems like the recruiting style is kind of entrenched right now. I think Simbodi is bringing his unique flavor and style to it, but we're also seeing them expand it a little bit more as well. So I think that's great to see.
Yeah, I got to ask, if people want to know who these new athletes are and get to know a little bit about them, how can they do that?
How can they do that besides tuning into Slap News, who brings you coverage like no other in the sport? We continue to put out more and more content, and as we are able to bring you guys and discover new talent, we keep doing so. Actually, let us know in the comments or send us a DM. Should we get into a prospect series? Would you like to see that on YouTube of some of the people, the desires, want to get into the sport in one way, shape, or form? Let us know. I mean, we'd love to be able to see if you guys want to hear from some of these up-and-coming athletes that have the desires and the potential, or do you want to wait until they get a fight? We do a pre-fight interview, you see what they do, then you backtrack because, I like the way Hollywood looked, or I like the way this guy.
Why'd you pick Hollywood, huh?
I don't know, just
Her fans seem to like the way she looks.
Exactly.
DTP, check your DMs, my man, please.
Yeah. So, just one thing or the other.
So you said in the next week, huh?
In the next week.
So it's that soon.
It is coming up. I would say
And
yeah.
the champion of 185 pounds, the king at middleweight, Brandon Bordeaux, says, see you there. So that seems to be an admission that he will be involved in some way or another.
Nice.
And Esteban Saavedra, also known as Prince Saavedra, seems to be saying the same thing. I'm very interested and intrigued because he's also saying, see you guys there.
Nice.
So
nice.
I can confirm I am not going to be in Las Vegas. I'm not at liberty to tell or discuss or confirm or deny if Corey will be there or Slap News will have any presence there, but I will tell you that I am Miami and then go home.
Yeah, I'm in Miami and I don't know where I'm going next. So
wherever they tell
find
us.
out. Exactly.
Wherever they pay us the big bucks. So now Static saying see you there. All right. Now I think we're getting trolled.
Static just felt missed. He felt like he missed out.
Yeah, Static. So you know what? I'm gonna put Static on the spot here because he's
Is Static dead battery or is he the recharged Energizer Bunny?
Static's the man. I'll say this and then we'll bring in our illustrious guest here.
How are we gonna do this thing?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Talked about it.
We haven't, but we'll figure it out. I think we might have to really just listen in, and he may have to be sweet. So
you might have to mute our mics when he goes if we got to hear him.
Yeah, but then that's all the way over there. There's no
We
way.
can't do it from that one on.
No, because it's connected out. See, there's technical shit. Static has made some pretty deliberate, intentional,
Outrageous,
I don't know about outrageous, but he made some pretty deliberate and intentional statements
voluptuous.
that he will properly welcome the new guys or a new guy on October 3rd. So all signs point, no, don't go there. All signs point to AJ Static, returning. We don't know if that's middleweight. We don't know if that's light heavyweight. We don't know if that's super heavyweight or if that's lightweight. I don't know. I don't know what the guy looks like today.
What does Static look like?
Not
today?
what I said. I'm sorry, Static. Unfortunately, I cannot repeat exactly what you said.
What does Static look like today?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. But let's get our first guest in here. We're gonna try to figure this out. You guys let us know if we got any feedback or anything. It is one Mr. Disturbing the Peace, Dorian Perez. What's up, my man? How are you?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Do you guys? I wonder, chat. Can you guys let us know if you hear what is that, feedback, an echo or anything like that? Because we're trying to figure this out. DTP, great to see you. You look very similar to how you've always looked.
Still in the
What's
closet.
that?
Oh wow, he said you're still in the closet. That's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't take any offense from anything coming from Canadians. You know what I mean? They don't really. It's not really like a serious country, so I don't really take them seriously as a people. You know what I mean? They turned their back on us in the revolution. This motherfucker supported the British. So
wow, he's going deep back in history. Corey probably can't really hear you, but he's just essentially saying, Canadians, you guys turned your back on us in Revolutionary War, and he'll never forget it. And he won't allow you to speak to him that way.
Well, I mean, we did burn the White House down, so I guess you
I don't know about down. I do have to ask you though, DTP. I don't know. Probably a month ago, we talked to a guy that you know very well, Damien DeBell. He's been consistently calling your name. We decided to ask him why he thinks they continuously, and Damien and the Power Side Brass continuously don't line that match up. He said he thought it might have something to do with the leotard at the last event, or the last time you guys met, and the butter situation. Do you agree with that at all? Like, do you think Frank's truly is upset at you for those antics?
No, I think I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist when it comes to this kind of shit. Because Bill's a champion, he can get whatever he wants, right? So he's calling my name in public, but on paper, when they really like are when it comes down to brass tacks, and they want like, hey, here's the time to sign a contract. He's like, nah, I don't want to fight Dorian again.
Oh,
It's probably gonna be the
so
same
you think
thing,
Damian DeBell's full of shit? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Like he's always been. You know what I mean? It's all cool. Like, we love him for it. It's all good. But yeah, I think he calls my name out in public, but on paper, like, come on, he got Wes Mena. What was he ranked, like number 6? You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. Like, well, I like Wes, but that's just made no fucking sense, right? So like, Bell just needed a little layup, a little confidence boost because he got his ass fucking rocked and wobbled, and I made him dance on stage. So that's just what it was, I made him shake his ass on stage, and he just really couldn't recoup from that and couldn't just battle me immediately after that. So he wanted his little layup to get his little confidence up again. And he's probably going to want to fight me like immediately after I fight somebody else. Like, I'm probably going to fight somebody, and they're probably going to offer me immediately Bill, like right after that, like a month later. So, you know what I mean? So I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I feel like they try to get me in a weakened state, but I'm never in a weakened state because this shit just fuels me. You know what I mean?
So you don't necessarily think it's the promotion? You think it's more the champion?
Yeah, those motherfuckers get what they want. Like Isaiah's over there smoking smoking cigars and gambling with the president. Like, they get what they want, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Oh shit!
Like, you can't tell me that they don't get what the fuck they want. That they're just so fucking powerless. That they're just so powerless that they don't fucking have any power. Yeah, my fucking ass, bro. You get what you want. He wanted Wes Mena, he got Wes Mena. You know what I mean? So, whatever. Same thing with Crazy Hawaiian. He wanted Crazy Hawaiian because of some sort of like legacy, trying to build up a fucking story. So he would have jumped. Crazy Hawaiian would have jumped me too if had his knee not been fucking broken or bent backwards or whatever the fuck happened to him. So it's what they want. Champions get freaking first pick. At least that's the way I see it. And that's the way I've seen it fucking play out. But like, look at everybody that fought on that. Look at everybody that fought on that day. Everybody that fought on that day has had 2 and then now 3 rematches since then. You know what I mean? I'm the only one that didn't get a rematch, and we had the closest fight. I broke records that day, right? Like, I'm the only one to stay 10 toes with fucking Bell. I'm the only one to rock Bell fucking 4 times. Like, what the fuck has Wes Mena done to fucking match up to that? Not really the same shit. You know what I mean? Fuck
Listen,
Corey.
All right. I got to ask you a real important question, okay, DTP?
What's up, buddy?
We were pre-planning for this, and Ding told me not to, but I think I have to ask you. All right.
What's
you
up?
Get up there and power slap. The first round, you shit your pants. What do you do?
You gotta go primal, dude. You fucking grab that shit and fling it. You grab that shit and fling it. You go primal. What the fuck are you gonna do? You're gonna fucking cower and put your tail between your legs, or put the cerote between your legs? Fuck that, man. You grab that shit and you fling it like a fucking gorilla. Have you seen the video of that fucking gorilla throwing like a capybara? He's like smashing a capybara and he throws it into the audience. I'm gonna do that shit,
Some
bro.
wild shit. You asked for it. You got what you wanted. DTP, I gotta ask you, man. What's your road back to the title? I mean, how do we get you back to Damian DeBell? Because in the beginning of the year, we put 5 matches that we need to see in 2025.
Yeah.
It was, help me out here, Corey, if I've missed anything. It was Azael Blackburn. It was Robert Trujillo versus somebody. Sheena versus Jackie in the rematch. You versus Damian DeBell in the rematch. And
another match that happened. Probably Bordeaux and Isaiah.
I think it was Bordeaux Isaiah too.
Yeah. I think
everything else has happened except the match involving you.
I got what
How do we
you're saying.
get there before 2025? Because Slab News can't be wrong, bro.
I'm pretty consistent, bro. So I don't think it's anything I'm doing. I think that they don't really like to see heavyweight rematches. It's kind of why Dwayne went up to super heavyweight, right? Like, they just didn't want to see him again. So I'm pretty consistent. As long as I keep winning fucking battles and keep staying number 1, eventually I'll get back to the title. I think it's more of like a scheduled thing. I'm probably going to see Damian again in December. We're going to be like, have an anniversary. You know what I mean? all right, well, we're gonna fight again on our 1 year anniversary, dude. It's gonna be fucking. That's just how I see it. I feel like.
But you said you'd have to fight somebody between. So how does that fit into your bingo board here?
I feel like I'm gonna fight somebody in between. Like they always make me fucking fight for it. Like even to get into the promotion, I had to fight twice. You know what I mean? Some people got in on a bye. Some people fought once. I fought twice, like back to back. One day fought somebody, and then the other day fought somebody. So they make me work for it, bro, and I don't mind working for it because.
Did you know the Wolf? Did you meet the Wolf?
I knew the Wolf before Power Slap, and then I met him in person with Power Slap. I was like, "What the fuck? What are you doing here?" So it was kind of sick.
Wolf is here in Miami with us. He was supposed to be the main event on Friday night coming up, but he got hurt. But he's still here to watch the two guys fight over what he's calling his heavyweight belt. And the question about taking the shit on yourself actually came from him because I asked him, what's something that you've always been, worried about or mindful of, like a weird thought that you have mid-fight or while you're in the clinch. And he said, getting punched in the stomach and shitting myself. Like, what would I do?
Yeah.
And
so at this point, I think it is for a lot of people too to just fucking go clear the bowels, go fucking hit the bathroom 3, 4, fucking 5 times, just fucking clear everything out before you fight. I've always done it, even in the street beefs. I'm in the fucking 2 minutes, 3 minutes before my fight. I'm in the fucking porta john, fucking squeezing. You know what I mean?
Squeezing.
That's awesome. I mean, I didn't get to ask you in New Orleans. We seen your favorite fighter, Mr. One Dwayne Crespo, make an appearance. I gotta ask you, what'd you think?
Oh, I think he needs to come back down to heavyweight, or he needs to put on some more weight, like put on some more calories, or eat some more meals and get heavier, or come back down to heavyweight and come play with us. Also, who also should come back down and come to heavyweight, it's fucking Austin Turpin, man. Some Austin Turpin's fat ass, man. Come fight heavyweight. Knocking out all these light heavyweights, bullying the fucking everybody. His little meatball ass, 4'10", fucking 300 pounds. That shit's crazy, bro. Come fight heavyweights where you fucking belong. Come eat fucking pasta with us and fucking, you know what I mean? Come on now. What's up with that? Why do you do Vern like that? They've done Vern like that 2 times now.
That's something you and Damien DeBell agree on because he said the same thing. He said, "Why doesn't Turpin just come up?"
Yeah, look at that. I'm just as smart as a lawyer. Look at that.
I don't know if I call him a lawyer, but he's got aspirations.
Damn.
Nate Bernard says heavy on the pasta. Come eat pasta with us.
Hell yeah.
What do you think about the top of your division? Obviously, you've got a win over Pono Paul. Westman is up there. Nate Bernard's up there. Those are guys you haven't seen. James Siegman, obviously, you've said some pretty spicy things about him in the past, but he lost to Pono, so theoretically, it doesn't make sense. Zakir.
I feel bad about talking shit to James Siegman now. That
you feel bad?
Yeah, now that I see his last performance. He went out there.
Okay. I was wondering where I was going. Like, did you go to church and cleanse or what? You doesn't feel bad for anything he says.
I said he wasn't sick, and then the next time we see him, he looks like he's going through fucking chemo. I'm like, damn, dude, I was wrong. You were sick. My bad. Fuck. Fuck, dude. Why did you do that? That guy should be a light heavyweight anyway. That should be a light heavyweight anyway. He's like,
I think he's pretty close.
5. Like, you should just do the work and get down there anyway. I'm a fucking natural heavyweight. I walk around 3 fucking 100 pounds, So
what about what about some of those other names? Nate Bernard.
Oh, Nate Bernard. I don't think they would give me Nate Bernard. I love Nate Bernard, but I'd be the one to make his ranking go down finally. I think maybe not, bro. Maybe not. Nate could lose the next 3 matches and he'd still be number fucking 2 or number 1. I could beat him and he'll fucking be number 1 after our fight. For some reason, he's just a fucking.
He's got Frank Lamicella privilege, huh?
He's that good. No, it's not anything political. He's just that fucking good. Put some respect on it, Ding. The fuck, man.
Put some respect on his name. Yeah, Nate's doing some cryptic shit on Instagram. I'm not gonna out him. I'll let him stay in the closet for a little bit longer. But Nate's trying to tell us something for sure.
Nate always looks like he's stepping out of a Balenciaga commercial. He's like fucking 6-pack and a fucking ski mask and a fucking backpack, a see-through backpack and shit. Like, I love it, bro.
Amazing.
my dog.
Yeah, he cut his hair. That's a shame. What about Wes Mena? You talked about him a minute ago. He's had no business with the
I think
champ, you said, but
he cracks hard, but he's another one of those people who like he could be like a glass cannon type of person. So where like he cracks hard, but if you can survive that, you can probably knock him out. So I don't really worry about these people. I fucking do my own shit. I go to the gym. I've been training my little brother. He's starting football fucking today. He's at football practice right fucking now. And I've been fucking lifting with him. Dude, he's lifting like the same numbers as me. We're hitting leg press together doing the same numbers. We're hitting squats together doing the same numbers. This motherfucker's 14. Like, I'm training fucking DTP 2.0. Like, this motherfucker is awesome, bro. So he keeps me motivated to fucking keep pressing the issue and keep doing new stuff and keep shocking the body. And like, just because I want to show him new stuff, it makes me think about fucking training that I forgot. I'm like, damn, let's do some fucking explosive power cling squats. I'll teach you how to do this. I'll teach you how to do that. So I'm motivated fucking in the gym more than ever now. So I fucking love it, bro.
that's great to hear, man. Obviously, we know your brother means a ton to you. You're a very family-oriented guy, so it's awesome. Glad he's doing well. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. I wasn't sure that this would happen. I thought you might stand us up again, and my heart was breaking, but you mended it, so I appreciate that. And you're fiery as always. Thank you for the advice on what to do if you shit yourself on stage. That was very valuable.
Mm-hmm. If you do it in the commentary booth, you gotta, you know what I mean? Take the moment to yourself too. Like, ding, if you shit yourself out there in the power slap stage, like right before Bordeaux gets fucking slapped, just like fuck it, dude, take it. It's your moment. It's not his. Just grab that shit. Grab that cerote and fucking fling it. Or should you throw it so hard it goes into multiple pieces? You know what I mean? Take it. It's your moment. Fuck them. Fuck that fight. It's your moment.
I love it, man. Well, absolute pleasure, DTP. We hope to talk to you soon. We hope to see you back up there soon, whether it's the rematch that we all agree you should have, or you end up, drawing a new opponent. We'll be looking forward to it, brother.
Hell yeah, man. All right. I'll see you guys soon, man.
We appreciate you, man.
I love you guys. Have a good one.
We love you too, brother.
Can't hear him anyways, Ding.
I heard him.
I mean, honestly, show definitely went in a direction that we didn't have planned or scheduled, but I think we did a really good, recapping the middleweight division, the light heavyweight division, obviously getting DTP in the heavyweight division. And we've got 3 divisions right now that are absolutely stacked and exciting. I mean, I think it's definitely, bright days ahead. We've talked about the number of events that are coming up here in October and potentially through the end of the year. And I think that the sport continues to grow and push, and the more fights, the more opportunities, the more of these storylines. And as you alluded to, the days of good guy versus good guy are going to be far and few between. We are starting to get those rivalries, animosity between them. We're getting the villains, we're getting the heroes, we're getting people that twist the plot even. People that start out as heroes, or, the good guy turning into the heel to kind of create excitement. And as they evolve and move, and we see the friendship changing. And I think this is really where the sport needs to evolve and push to, in regards to just 2 minutes for a good man, just to kind of bring that level of excitement to the next level for everybody. And so, let's kind of wrap it up here, Ding. I know we're getting short on time, but we appreciate everybody joining in as always. And as we said, stay tuned. I mean, right now, Better Boxing on Instagram. We're in Miami. We're bringing you guys a ton of great content. If you're into dirty boxing, you want to see guys. I know, obviously, the alum of the Wolf, unfortunately, is no longer in the title match, but still, Rakeem stepping up. Rakeem Cleveland taking on
Jarzinho.
There you go.
I know you have trouble with his name. Jarzinho Rosenstrike. Yep.
So this is going to be
the man
a match.
from Suriname. Not very rare you find an athlete from Suriname.
Where's Suriname? I don't know. Africa or South America?
No, it's definitely not in Africa.
Where is it then?
It's like around Haiti.
Okay.
Yeah.
Central America.
Yeah, sure.
Gotcha. I mean, it's going to be exciting, dude. We're excited. Going to be taking place. If you want, head on over there. Give us a follow as well. Check us out on YouTube. We've got a ton of great content coming on YouTube for you guys. Well, we appreciate everybody who joins in every single week. We haven't missed a beat. What do I know? 75 weeks in a row. Yep. Keep coming to you Wednesday, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 p.m. in the East. Once again, until next time. Same place, same time next week. Take care, guys.